This is where the Roma of Hermanovce live. Like Roma everywhere in eastern Slovakia, they live on the edge of town in crowded, squalid conditions. Here, a dirty river separates them from where the white Slovaks live. From the time they are born, Roma are at a disadvantage. Babies born in this part of town, for example, are twice as likely to die as babies born to whites just up the road. It's a cold Saturday morning and some of the Roma have come to church in the white part of town. They've come for the wedding of Rosalia and Radislav. Just as soon as the white Slovaks leave the church, the wedding will begin. Rosalia and Radislav have been together for 8 years and have 2 young daughters. To their great sadness and disappointment, this marriage will not be blessed with any more children. Rosalia's youngest child, Yitka, was born 6 years ago. Rosalia clearly remembers the day when her labour began and she was taken to hospital.
No, potom mi nič nevarili. Še pitali, kilo mám zeci. Prvé, na tejto, že druhé čakám na teraz. No, potom nič toto. Zavarili mi, pôjde sa nazad na cesárske.
As far as Rosalia knew, there were no problems with the birth. Both she and her baby were healthy. However, as the years wore on, Rosalia became increasingly perplexed as to why she never fell pregnant again. The mystery ended when this woman came into her life. Barbara Bukovska is a lawyer based in Prague in the Czech Republic. She's one of the authors of a report that has rocked Slovakia. This report confirmed long-standing claims that Roma women are being sterilised without their full consent.
And usually it's happening on the delivery table. That woman is brought to the hospital, she's in delivery, and for whatever reasons she has to have cesarean sections. They give her anesthesia. And then she is undergoing cesarean section, and then during the cesarean section her fallopian tubes are tied.
Last year, Barbara Bukovska led a team of researchers to some of the Roma settlements in Slovakia. From an extremely small sample, they found over 100 cases of women who'd been sterilised in questionable circumstances. It's believed that these 100 cases are just the tip of the iceberg.
But as for sterilisation, we found out that it's not isolated incident. It's not incident that would be limited to one hospital or one doctor. It's a practice, and it's a practice that's been continuing in Slovakia for decades.
On behalf of some women, Barbara gained access to their medical files.
And this is how they mark the files, with R. So for instance, this one. So R, that she's Romni.
It was in these files that Barbara discovered the answer to the question haunting women like Rosalia.
So there were cases where women told you they didn't know why they couldn't conceive, and then you check their files.
And there was written that she requests sterilisation, like this one.
This is Rosalia's file. With Rosalia's permission, Barbara had checked her medical records at the hospital where she last gave birth. Barbara came to Hermanovce to deliver the bad news.
No tak Barbara prišla a mi povedala, tak zobrala na bok a mi povedala, že tam bola zistiť v tom karte a tam bolo napísané, že ja som si o to žiadala sama, že by mi zrobili, že by som už nemala deti. No už vôbec nič.
Rosalia then had to pass on the news to her partner, Radislav.
Cum plecăbenii. Eu nu vorea la ora. Ai prišla tuto Barbara, vorela tuto va.
On mal radosť, keď myslel, že ešte budeme mať, ale keď sa to počul, to, že som mu rečovala, že už nebude mať. No zostal taký, jak prekvapený, nepovedal nič nad tým. Smutný bol.
While Rosalia's file says she consented to being sterilised and has a signature that purports to be hers, she says this is not true.
Doktor vôbec nič nevysvetlil. Aj pýtal sa, aké meno dal, no som varila, keď chlapec bude Robert, no a keď dzivče Jitka. A veci nič už nepamätám. Som pošla tam, dali mi narkózu, injekcie, nejaké, už potom sa nepamätám.
Podpísala si nejaký dokument, papier, pred alebo po operácii?
Nič, še mi nepísali. Len meno, co varili, jaké dáte meno, no toto veci nič tam nedovárajú, tak už sami reflexujú.
Veronica is 23 years old. She did sign a consent form for sterilisation, but under extreme conditions. Veronica was 19 when she went into labour with her second child. She arrived at the hospital alone and in pain. The doctor told her she would be having a caesarean and that she needed to be sterilised because it would be dangerous for her to ever have another baby.
Da by im povedal, tu sa podpíšte, lebo keď budete mať ešte jednu, to je už riskantné a keď prídete tu, tá už na vaše riziko.
Ako dlho diskutoval s vami v minútach alebo v sekundách? Čo znamená sterilizácia? V sekundách?
Nepamätám sa. Len mi, jak prinesli toto papiere, mi povedali, že ako budem v tom prípade, no, išli ešte sebi ruky umyť, no sme išli.
Such was Veronica's naivety. She wasn't even sure what sterilisation meant. Once the operation was over, she asked the doctor when she could have children again. She now deeply regrets signing.
Buďte ticho, lebo sa s vami chcem porozprávať, ako sa môže to stať, alebo keď chcete, môžeme vám dám dánu a môžete mať o 5, o 10 roky, keď chcete. Ale oni nie. Oni nič. Jak prišli s takým veľkým papierom, no dali mi podpísať, že keď budem mať trece, môžem aj umrieť, že to je riskantná operácia tretia. No, ja som sa podpísala. Lebo som veľmi plakala, som sa bála, že už aj z toho druhú budem mať cisársky. Som sa bála. Som sa podpísala.
According to Barbara, the majority of cases are like Veronica's. Women who did sign but under duress, usually on the delivery table.
Women are told that the next pregnancy would be endangered, that during the next pregnancy she or her baby would die, and that's why she has to sign this paper. And the paper is concerned with sterilisation.
Veronica already has 2 children, but wishes she could have more. So does her mother.
Tá mama mi povedala, že prečo som sa podpísala.
No tá co povím? Když chceš, ale 20 by mala. Bola mladá.
Her inability to have more children has also affected Veronica's relationship with her husband.
Keď už budú mať deti ako teraz, no už má ona 7, tam mala 4, ak ich otec toto zrobil, že ak by mal druhé detsko. Še vádzom, že nebude mať deti. Tak jak boli malé, to ešte bolo dobre. Jak už vyrastie, tak už bol medzi nami problém.
This is Prešov New Maternity Hospital. Both Rosalia and Veronica were sterilised here. And according to Barbara Bukovska's report, this hospital is one of the worst offenders. Dr. Caselli is the head physician in the gynecology department.
Ja myslím, že to je vymysel práve týchto, ktorí ten výskum robili vzhľadom na finančné zvýhodnenie ich samých pracovníkov aj Rómov. Vymyslí pani Bukovskej. Hej, už rád by som ju to ani nevidel, bo keď príde tu, dáme ju súdne stíhať.
Dr. Caselli says sterilisations are only ever performed because of medical necessity.
Nemáme jednu takú, ktorá by nepodpísala sterilizáciu. Keď sme išli robiť zo zdravotných dôvodov. Robilo sa to vtedy, keď mala 2 alebo viac cisárskych rezov, že je hrozilo poškodenie zo zdravotných dôvodov. Vtedy sme jej doporučili, že eventuálne treba sterilizáciu zrobiť, že by ďalšia sekcia ju ohrozuje na zdraví. Každá jedna podpísané, máme to dokumentované.
Critics argue it's not necessarily a risk for a woman to have more than 2 caesareans. But even still, this is not the real issue.
This is not about it. This is not whether the sterilization was necessary or not. This is about the consent. This is about the situation when a woman gave the consent and whether it was informed consent.
There is a long history of racism and institutional discrimination against the Roma in Slovakia. Here in Košice, the regional capital of eastern Slovakia, you won't see many Roma faces. This is despite the fact the east is where the majority of Roma live. But drive just a few kilometres out of town and you'll come to Lunik 9, Central Europe's biggest Roma ghetto. The deputy mayor tells me that around 5,000 Roma live here, the majority in abject poverty.
Nie taki, że ora, że Roma, nie to nie jest prawda, lebo gdzie pójdą Romovia, telefonicky je to normálna vec, áno, máte tam príďte. Keď sa sám človek objaví, uvidí, žiaľ Bohu, nemáte tú robotu. Už je to obsadené.
So the communist period did not treat everyone equally, and come 1989, Roma were living apart from whites in slums. Roma were doing the most menial labor. Since the end of communism, this country has had a segregated school system. Employment discrimination is absolutely the norm, and nobody does anything about it.
Judd Nuremberg works for the Carpathian Foundation, an NGO that deals mainly with development. He's American but of Romani descent and has lived and worked in the region for nearly a decade. He's been deeply involved in Roma projects and issues.
I think that most Slovaks, including those that I would call left of center politically, including those who I think are very intelligent and open-minded, including lots of different types of people, pretty much all seem to believe that Roma are culturally inferior, that Roma don't respect work as much as whites, that Roma don't believe in education the way whites do. By the way, if this doesn't go without saying, I think all this is false and it is dumb bigotry, but for the Slovaks, this doesn't go without saying.
The discrimination faced by the people in this ghetto extends to healthcare. Roma women are only allowed to visit the local doctor 1 day a week. The other days are reserved for white women. Vilma knows the healthcare system well. Little Eloise is her 8th child.
Takže keď vidia, že cigánka má viac detí, tak oni sa hnevajú. Už oni dopredu aj rozprávali, že to decko, akože to sú peniaze. Ešte aj na vizite.
Jak to hovorili?
No tak hovoril, že ale viete, že to už prídavky nebudete dostávať toľko. Na vizite ráno. Ja som mu povedala, ale ja toto decko nemám kvôli peniazom. A vy si myslíte, že iba 270 korún stojí toto decko? Čo ja dostanem prídavok na to? Ja som nevedela.
The final insult from the doctor, though, was during labour.
No to už jak decko sa tlačilo na svet počas bolesti. Vtedy sa mi otočil chrbtom, začal sa vyškierať a hovorí, že fuj, cigánka smrdavá. On sa ma vôbec ani nechcel dotýkať.
We heard complaints, and it was not in one settlement and not by one woman but by many women who didn't know each other and who were having same complaints that they were mistreated in the hospitals, that they were beaten. Doctors and nurses are screaming at them racist slanders, and there are special rooms, segregated rooms for Roma women and segregated facilities as dining rooms or toilets, bathrooms.
Back at Prešov Hospital, Dr. Kiseli denies Roma women are discriminated against. However, he does want to point out that Roma are different.
Vždycky je ten rozdiel, že títo z tých osád prichádzajú sú veľmi zaostalí po stránke hygienickej, po stránke sociálnej, kultúrnej, psychickej a v tom zmysle. Z mesta, čo idú, sa vyrovnajú bielým, ale tam sú v komunitách, nemajú záujem o nič. Oni žijú v tej komunite, nechodia do školy, hygienické návyky, nemajú základné hygienické návyky, toto treba povedať.
The doctor then offers to show me something to illustrate his point. A newborn Roma baby with a deformity.
Nechodia do prenatálnych poradní, toto je treba povedať, a z toho sú chorí. A rodia sa nám také deti, ak sa rodia, chodte ukázať toto hydrocefalus, hej? No.
The head nurse, Adela Bednarikova, takes me to go and see this baby. She shares the doctor's assessment of Rom women from settlements.
No a tieto rómske pacientky z tých osad, tak vám poviem, že to je zdegenerovaná rasa. Neviem, ako vy to preložíte teraz, ale tak vám to poviem, pretože oni vlastne majú pomer medzi brat so sestrou, otec s dcerou, matka so synom a tak ďalej. A čím ďalej tá generácia, tá najmladšia generácia je veľmi zdegenerovaná. Náš dojem z toho všetkého je taký, že oni tie deti plodia čím ďalej, tým viacej z tej finančnej stránky, že mali proste ako možnosť dostať na nich. Prvá ukážem oddelenie, ako ležia pacientky a tak, hej. Nech sa páči. A tak vás dobrý deň sama.
From what I see, it's clear that there is segregation. There are rooms for the Roma and rooms for the whites.
Oni sa segregujú sami, tak vám poviem, že napríklad my sme ich dávali ku bielým pacientkám, riadne s bielými pacientkami ležať a oni s bielými odmietajú ležať. Oni radšej si ľahnú 2 do 1 posteli, ako by mali ostať na izbe s bielými. Ináč, tak vám poviem, že tuto máme jedáleň a chodia spolu rómske pacientky s bielými, chodia riadne do jedálne. Nesegregujeme ich, že biele sa najdia a rómky, ale spoločne chodia na stravu.
Finally, we reach our destination, the deformed Roma baby, and I'm passed on to the hospital's head paediatrician, Dr. Maria Sinajova.
Máme jedno také dieťatko, čo tam mamka bola, neviem, keď preložíte dada, čo ani 16 rokov nemá, ani chodila do poradne, hydrocefalus, ani chodila do poradne, lebo nechcela chodiť.
This baby is not expected to live for more than a few months. The doctor blames the mother.
To je ich mentalita, ktorú nepochopíme. To je ich mentalita, ktorú nepochopíme. Kto chce, bude chodiť. Kto nechce, nebude chodiť. Tekutina, likvor, všetko.
Dr. Sinajova claims the Roma won't do anything unless they get paid.
Že museli vtedy 2-krát alebo 3-krát navštíviť poradňu kedysi a dostali pôrodné a sociálne. Teraz sa to dá každému, takže pre nich už nič neplatí, len finančné postih.
Či sú nejaké riešenia pre tie Rómky, pre ich starostlivosť, že by vlastne parodili nejaké zdravšie deti?
Lepší prístup a zodpovednosť a ten materinský cit, ktorý majú v sebe. To ja neviem. Materinský cit, aby v nich sa konečne prebudil a že by...
I think the first thing to do is to admit that the fundamental problem here is that we've got nurses and doctors who don't think that Roma are human beings. Apparently they don't think that Roma are even mammals. Is there a mammal that lacks maternal instincts? I don't think we should try to address the problem by looking too deeply at the Romani community. I think we need to start by asking what can we do about the fact that a hospital is staffed by people that think that non-whites lack basic human characteristics like a love for one's own children.
Apart from a general climate of racism, there are several possible explanations for the sterilisation of Roma women. A pressing concern for the doctors and nurses of Slovakia is the fear that their white race will be outbred by the Roma.
Že keby to ozaj bola pravda, toto, čo oni tvrdia, tak nestane sa nám toto, že o 10 rokov ich bude toľko ako nás. To verte tomu, že nie. No.
Fear of the Roma birth rate is common in Slovakia. It's discussed widely, even at official levels. A mayor in eastern Slovakia, for example, is proposing Chinese-style limits on the number of children Roma can have. The leader of an opposition political party wants Roma men to be paid to be sterilised.
Doctors also genuinely believe that, Roma are going to outnumber the Slovaks in society, so they should do something with that. And I think that what they do is within the framework of this societal fear, societal myth. And they are thinking that they're justified to do what they do, and because they're helping Slovakia.
It could also be the case that doctors in Slovakia are just continuing a long-established practice. Under communism, many Roma women were sterilised in questionable circumstances because of a policy that offered financial incentives for sterilisation.
And that stopped because the law was amended in 1990, early 1990, but nevertheless the practice continues. And the doctors who are doing it, they are still continuing. Some of them were young doctors then, and now they are chiefs of the departments of the hospitals.
The Slovak government's response has been one of scepticism and hostility. Ingrid Giňová has been on the receiving end of this. She was sterilised 2.5 years ago when she was just 16. Since the report came out, she's spoken publicly about her ordeal and is one of only 2 women pressing criminal charges. Today she's meeting with her lawyer and a human rights activist.
Chcem, aby sa každý dozvedel, čo som ja prežila a ako mi je, keď už nie som prázdna, nemôžem nič zo seba dať, napríklad život môjmu dieťaťu, že mohla som mať tú radosť a tú bolesť, ale nemôžem ani hovoriť.
Shortly after her name appeared in local and international media, Ingrid received a visit from the local police.
Prišiel tu polícia, tam teraz kde on stojí, tam zastal a z auta hovoril mena, že ktoré majú ísť dolu ku ním. No a moje meno povedali, koľko ti zaplatili, aby si toho doktora zažalovala. A ja som mu povedala, mne nejaké peniaze nezaplatili, nič. A potom už...
Ingrid was then taken to the local police station with one other woman. They were told they would be sent to jail if their claims were not proven.
Zobrali nás tam a jeden sa spýtal, viete, že ak budete hovoriť krivým, vypovedať, že môžete ísť aj do väzenia na 3 roky.
As well as threatening Roma women with imprisonment, the Slovak government warned the authors of the report that they too could be charged if the complaints weren't proven. Government spokesman Peter McCloskey.
Skutočne o korektné dopatranie sa skutočnej pravdy, aby ak došlo k porušeniu zákonov, tak aby boli postihnutí tí, ktorí to porušili. Ak nedošlo, tak aby nejaký postih sa dostal tým, ktorí šírili poplašné správy.
The government has recently concluded the major part of an investigation into the report, finding the allegations are without factual basis. This investigation relied on reviewing the records of one hospital, essentially just checking that signatures were in place. Walking around the settlement where Ingrid lives, we discover that her village is now paying a price for her decision to speak out. People here tell us that the local hospital, the hospital against which Ingrid made her complaint, is venting its anger against the village. This woman did not want to be filmed.
No pretože sa im problémy narúdajú. Ešte hrešia nás.
A jak?
Nechcú nás tu vyšetriť s desmi, ani pohotovosť, nič.
From Krempachy, tu Bielnica. Ale však máte karty tam, nie? Oni vás musia vyšetriť.
Takže patríme pod Bielnicu.
A nechceli vás vyšetriť?
Deti nechcú vyšetriť z nám, malé deti.
A čo povedali deti?
The hospital in question denies it is refusing to treat Roma from Ingrid's village. But when I was filming outside, it became clear that the allegations of forced sterilisations have touched a raw nerve here. I'm approached by a doctor from the hospital. It's unclear whether he realises I'm filming him.
Áno, a vy z nás robíte hlupákov. My sme toľko nad vami, ako vy. My sme toľko nad vami. Viete? To je. Aha, rozumieš? A nerobte z nás hlupákov. My nechodíme, my nie sme opice po stromoch. Nie, ja som chirurg, ktorý poctivo pracujem. A tak tvrdo pracujem, že až. A toto, čo ste s Gindou urobili, sa nehambíte? Sa hambíte. Robte, hľadajte príčinu, kde je príčina. A kde v nás poctivých pracujúcich ľuďoch. Kde je príčina? Sú obyčajní cigáni, ktorí hovno robia. Absolútne. Sú leniví sprostí. Pozri sa na cigáňov, čo robia. Pozri sa, toto je pracujúci. V živote nerobí ani jeden cigáň. A toto zisťujte. A nehľadajte príčiny pracujúcich, normálnych, slušných ľuďov.
This is a sensitive issue for Slovakia, particularly at a time when it's preparing to enter the European Union and the country's human rights record is on display. Luckily for Slovakia, the reports of forced sterilisation have barely raised a murmur in Brussels.
the state seems to have a stronger interest in punishing the victims for having embarrassed Slovakia by speaking out than in punishing the people who misbehaved. I think that's very concerning, and I'm surprised that the European Union is as nonchalant about the whole matter as it is.
The women who've been sterilised have been left only with questions and the unfulfilled desire for more children.
Každý má zlosť, nie? Každý by chcel mať. No ale co zrobia, kde pôjdu? Neznajú, kde sa obrátiť, že by mohli toto zrobiť nazad, jak bolo. A neznám, či ešte dá toto.
Ak došlo k porušeniu z poslimov, tak aby boli tí, ktorí to porušili, tak ak nedošlo, tak aby